Hey everybody, just a couple of quick little things about your Surface Pro in case you want to get started. First off, like we said, there's going to be some PD in a week or two. So if you have anything that comes up that you want to know more about or a tip that you think would be helpful for other people, please let Mrs. Hall or myself know so we can include that. So we're going to talk about a few things today. One, the charger. As you know, it's this little guy. It's kind of an interesting thing. It just goes in the side in the only slot that it can fit in, and it goes sideways. It can also charge. This device can also charge via USB-C. That's one of the ports in the side. But it can't just be a regular like cell phone charger. It needs to be like a 65-watt charger. Every Chromebook that all the kids have in the building have a charger that's that size and shape. That could work if you left this at home. You can borrow one from them or something like that. Also, some of you have asked about this, and I know for me it's the same way. The scrolling goes the wrong direction for you by default. If you start scrolling with this, with the two fingers scrolling on the trackpad, and if it makes total sense to you, ignore what I'm about to say. But for some of you, including me, Mr. Brinker came in earlier. It was acting a little bit backwards from what we prefer. So it's an easy change here. So we go here into settings, devices, then down to your touchpad. Then you have a few options. Um, Scrolling direction is what you're going to want to change. By default, it says down motion scrolls up. I prefer it the other direction. It's a personal preference, but if that's something that felt weird to you, that's where you can change it. There's also has some interesting gestures. If you scroll with 3 or 4 fingers, you can change some things about what your Surface Pro will do. But so that's the first thing, or that's the main thing. Also, if you need to use Microsoft 365, any of the Microsoft Office apps, including the Whiteboard app, which you can open by hitting the top of your stylus here, and it will open your Whiteboard app. The first time you do it, you'll have to jump through some hoops, including signing into Microsoft Office 365, which is a little tricky because some of you guys' email and password works fine. If you're newer to the district, those of us who've been here for more than, 3 or 4 years, you have to do your email like as if you were a new person. So it would be first name dot last name at unionrxi.org. So Tina Alferman got married. Her email address is now tina.alferman. But before that, it was Kleesner T. And those versions don't work. So first name dot last name. So for me, Taylor.Tholen at unionrxi.org. Even though that's not my actual email address, it works for this. That's how you get the whiteboard to work on the stylus. And lastly, fun fact, I wouldn't necessarily think you need to take this apart very much, but I thought this was interesting because I'd never seen this before. This is a quadruple A battery. I didn't even know that was a thing, but we learned something today. So you can just take my word for it. You probably don't need to take yours apart if you don't want. But that's your first little tips and tricks for the Surface Pro. If you have anything that you think you'd like to know more about or a tip that you'd like to share with everyone, please let Mrs. Hall or I know. Have a good day.